Hey everybody, What's It Fox Gaming here. So today I'm bringing you an updated build video. This is my Negotiators Dilemma build that I've made a tweak to that I believe has offered a huge amount of synergy. I've been experimenting with this build quite a lot lately, and I will link the original build in the description, of course, for you to watch that if you haven't seen that first. But I believe that the changes that I've made to this build offer some fantastic synergy that I haven't actually seen anywhere else yet, by utilising a very underrated talent that used to be meta. Now, I will just say first of all that this build might be interrupted by me loading into a game. Matchmaking has been really slow today. Unfortunately, the division has a relatively limited player base at the moment as people are waiting for TU11. So apologies if mid-build video we do load into a game. But there is only really one change that I've made on this build compared to the original one, and that is the talent. So what I decided to do here was to roll on Efficient. Now, you all may remember that Efficient used to be a nightmare in TU8 and 9 before they nerfed incoming repairs and how Efficient worked, because it allowed people to face tank ridiculous amounts of damage so they could apply their own damage even on a high armor build, and you would simply just out damage people because you were in the fight for longer. And I kind of felt that would have a lot of synergy with Negotiators Dilemma. So the way that this gear set works is you essentially mark via critical hits up to 3 people, and then the critical hit damage is shared between those 3 people. But the difference, if we flick it onto PvP mode, you can see that 15 meters there. Now, if they are outside of 15 meters, the talent no longer applies, and therefore the damage isn't shared. So you need to be able to get as much damage down as fast as humanly possible. And the way that a lot of people play conflict with their team is somebody be in the front lines dealing damage to you and your team, and if they take too much damage they will then dip into cover to heal up, and usually somebody else swaps out then if that person calls out to do so. Negotiators is very, very strong in that scenario because it then links those 2 people, and the guy that's healing up is going to die before he's even got his armor cut off because you're shooting the other person that's popped out with their shield or whatever else they're using. But of course, in that time, if you are low on health, you yourself would need to dip into cover, and then you're not utilising the talent as best as you could be. The best way to utilise Negotiators is just to be firing for as long as possible as soon as you can see somebody, and this is where Efficient comes into play. No, you can't face tank like you used to be able to, because as you can see in PvP mode here, they've reduced it down to 50% and it no longer stacks with incoming repairs. So the way that this used to work is in conjunction with the armor kit from Firewall. The base armor kit gives you 200% of your health and armor back over 10 seconds, and that goes up once per second by 20%. Of course, the 100% from Firewall from Efficient used to change that to 40%, so 400% total, and that would go even higher with incoming repairs. We're still going to be sat at 300% over the 10 seconds, so 30% every 1 second, just because it's been dropped down to 50%. You can't get it any higher than that because incoming repairs no longer works. But what this means is if we take a bit of damage, that means that obviously there's going to be an enemy shooting into us that knows where we are. So they're gonna overstay their welcome. If they don't realise what you're doing, you'll pop your armor kit, bring out your shield, and you'll be healing so much that you'll be able to effectively spread those marks around everybody and get off a huge amount of damage, whether you're shooting into their shield or into their skills or into them directly. And I felt that this works so much better over Unbreakable and Spotter and loads of other talents, because ultimately you just need to be firing for longer. I still stuck with the Seska mask here because whilst Coyotes is a great alternative, and probably tied for top choice for the second piece of this build, Seska just gives me that 60% all of the time, and I didn't want to have to worry about being at the right range with Coyotes to be at the 60%. Yes, it helps my team and it is very strong and it will buff my critical hit damage as well, but Negotiators is one of the few builds in the game that being at the 60% cap is super important. A lot of builds you could afford to be at 50 or 55 and they would work just as well, particularly if you or somebody else had Coyotes. I didn't want to have to worry about that. I just wanted to be at 60%, whether they were 1 meter in my face or 30 meters away or anywhere in between, and that's why I opted to go for the Seska mask there. So I didn't make any changes in that sense. My weapon of choice, as you can see on the left there, is the Carbine 7. I absolutely love how this weapon looks, but more importantly, it's a great rate of fire at 790 RPM. It has really good base stats as well, so the stability and accuracy are very effective, and that means that you can just more reliably land headshots and apply damage. You do 100% need to be focusing on high rate of fire weapons, so I would say 750 would be your minimum. The Eagle Bearer is a great second choice here because it has 60 bullets in the mag and really high base damage, and all of this works very, very effectively with Negotiators, but ultimately it doesn't have a damage talent. The damage talent that you run on your weapon is entirely your choice. I actually decided to go for Optimist here. I run Strained originally, and that's also really good, but Optimist does buff our base damage to make up for the fact that we've got 2 blues in our build, so I felt that was a really good option there. And as a high rate of fire weapon such as the carbine, you're going to hit the cap a lot faster for Optimist. In sync, I didn't want to have to worry about bringing my shield in and out, deploying my booster hive, using a drone. I just wanted to be able to pop the medkit and then have 0 interruption in my damage dealing, other than reloading and potentially dipping in for more health. And that's again why efficient is so good here. The booster hive is a great secondary skill to use in conjunction with your shield, because as well as giving you the extra survivability alongside that shield, it also gives me the 20% handling buff, which makes my reloads 20% faster. And again, reloading for less of the time equates to more damage, which equates to more shared damage. Boost Hive is also very effective on a low armor build because it cleanses all status effects, regardless of your skill tier, anytime a drone hits you. So that's sort of why I decided to go for that option just there. And you know, by running Optimist, I don't need to worry about constantly deploying these two. I can just pop the armor kit and fire my gun. And I wanted it to be a simple build that has high effectiveness against entire teams. So that's kind of why I decided to go for Optimist. Yes, there are absolutely higher damage versions of this build, but I just feel that the synergy is with this version is better. Oh, did he not see me there? That's weird. And I mean, you see, you can still absolutely mow people down. So if this other guy pushes me here, I've taken a bit of damage. I'm going to pop an armor kit. Oh, I've come out of combat now. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, try out the build. Let me know what you think. You know, 2 blue, 4 red, efficient, and a high rate of fire AR. So the FAMAS. Ah, they're behind me. No. How on earth did he get all the way around the back and none of us seeing? Wow, that was like the world's longest flank. Yeah, so a high rate of fire AR, FAMAS Police M4, Carbine, Eagle Bear will be my top 4 choices. The Shield Splinter is also really good as well. You know, that's going to be sort of the most effective way of applying the critical hit marks. And then, like I say, just make sure that if you take a bit of damage and you know that the team are pushing, drop into cover, pop the efficient armor kit, and then come back. And honestly, it just works so well. Now obviously this is a solo queue game here, so I can't promise that it's going to work well here, but as I always ask with all my builds and videos, don't judge the build based on my performance, because I'm a pretty average player and I don't necessarily utilise the build strengths as well as a lot of you do. You know, there are some really good players out there who use my builds way better than I've ever been able to do so. So try it out for yourself first and let me know what you think in the comments. Oh, this is a terrible place to be. Let's try and get the shot the second guy. Yes, teammates for the win. Whew, teammate, you are a legend, good sir. Armor kit time. No! Ah! I was too busy celebrating. I was too busy celebrating. Never mind. But yeah, you saw that orange line connecting those 2 people there. I made a really bad push there, admittedly. But yeah, that's where Negotiators is strong. So that combination of efficient, if I'd have got it off in time, and Negotiators means that you can actually 1v2 to 3. And I know that's quite dangerous, but if you play it well, you're a good aim, and you put some time into optimising your build, 100% it is possible to, maybe not necessarily 1v3. If you're the only person they're all shooting into, then you're going to die regardless of how much armour you have or efficient or anything like that. Where is this guy? Oh, he's up there. Wow, that is a lot of damage. But if you're with your team, you can be in the fight for longer than they can. Whoa. And then as a result of that, you're spreading all that damage around, and before the enemy team know what's going on, you've already damaged or killed 1, 2, 3 of them.
Rogue Stinger Hive detected.
Yeah, I'm going to actually make a flank the other side here. I've still got 2 armor kits, even though I popped one, which is really nice. That's the 50% kicking in there. I'm going to play quite far back here, so I've got time to pop the med kit if it's needed.
System malfunctioning. Agent down.
Okay, let's get off the old.
System reactivated.
For some reason I couldn't deploy my armor kit there. Excuse me, my booster hive there, which is really weird. That's fine. We got this off. This guy's a skill build, so. Oh, there's 2 people here. I've messed up here. I've messed up massively. Dodge roll, dodge roll.
Needs assistance.
Yes. Getting the booster. Back. Not today, buddy. And that is why the booster was so good. Oh no.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
This is a terrible place to be because they could see me from their spawn. No! I shouldn't have gone into cover there. That was a really bad play. But that's a great example there. I was able to kill 2 people there and I wasn't too far from killing a third. If I would have just got my timing down better there and not been super rusty at the game because I've been playing a lot of other games in the last few weeks, then I would have effectively killed 3 people entirely by myself. You know, the combination of the booster hive, which I absolutely believe every single team should have one. It's just too strong at the moment. In conjunction with obviously efficient and negotiators, that was a very effective 1v3, or at least it could have been.
There are no more rogue reinforcements.
Did I get a mark on that guy?
An agent needs assistance.
Supply drop being claimed by friendly. The specialization supply drop was just picked up by a friendly.
This guy going to poke his head. Right, he's marked now. Got the crit damage numbers there. Let's see if this is in range.
Stinger hive detected.
No, it's not. Teammate, help me! Teammate, help me! Ah, no! Yes, he got him. Ooh.
Agent out of action.
That guy did a lot of damage there. Good lads. Thank you, buddy. Oh,
You're halfway.
teammates of this game are saving me. Oh, my boys relying way too much on the old right frame there.
You won.
So, I'll be honest, I don't feel that I showcased the build very well there. I am feeling a little bit rusty with the Division at the moment, purely because, you know, I've come away from playing it pretty much daily to maybe once a week at the moment, just in the downtime until TU11 comes up. But, you know, as I said earlier in the video, try the build out for yourself first. Let me know what you think to the Efficient and Negotiators Dilemma synergy. I believe that it's there. I think that it has some of the best synergy with that gear set for any other talent, but you know, I'm sure there are many of you out there that are better players than me that have other versions of this build that work really well. But try it out first. Just let me know your thoughts. That's what I'm most interested in. You know, don't judge it until you've tried it, of course, because a lot of these builds seem great on paper or terrible on paper, and then you try them out and actually you realise that they fit your playstyle very well. So let me know what you think. Try it out first and drop some comments for me. I'm really curious to see if this build could be viable for a lot of you out there. Thank you very much for sticking through to the end of the video and for the continued support of the channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace!